Well, it doesn't look like West Texas. But it is northwest Texas. I'm at Caprock Canyon State Park. Gonna do a overnight backpacking trip. It's Friday, April 12th. And here's my plan. I'm parked here at the North Prong Trail campsite. I'm going to do the lower South Prong Trail for half a mile or so, get back on the park road, come down here to the Eagle Point Trail, 2-mile trail down here, back to the park road again. There's water here, I can top off my water. Stay on the park road up here to the Canyon Rim Trail, go around it, Wild Horse Trail, Mesa Trail, Spur Trail, the lower North Prong Trail to the North Prong Trail, and then I've got a campsite tonight at the North Prong Primitive Camping. This all should be about 12 miles. Not a whole lot of elevation change. And then tomorrow I'm going to get up and do the Haynes Ridge Trail, a portion of the upper South Prong Trail, then come back on the upper North Prong Trail. Back to my camp, probably break down camp then, and hike the 1 mile back to my truck. So the whole trip should be about 16 miles, 18 miles, with 12 of it today, but shouldn't be too much elevation gain, so it shouldn't be too hard. They did say they had a bunch of rain this week, so the trails may be muddy. Also, this shows 8 points of interest that they recommend you see while you're in the park, and we're going to go by 6 of them on this hike. So it's about 10:30. Drove in this morning, took 3.5 hours to get here, and now I'm here and getting ready to get started. Got everything packed up. My pack looks big. Thought this might be an easier trail, so I brought more stuff, maybe more luxury stuff, but I may be regretting that here later tonight, but we'll see. Anyway, we're getting started on the lower South Prong trailhead. This is a pretty place. I had to drive through most of the park to get to the backside where the campsites are. Trailhead starts, and trails are a little muddy already. So this route I've got planned is going to use portions of every trail in the park but one. Most of the trails, so I'll be doing kind of a figure-8 loop with half the loop, the bottom half of the loop today and the top half of the loop tomorrow. And all the trails today are multi-use trails. They're hiking, biking, and horseback riding. Whereas the trails will be on tomorrow are hiking only. There's also a buffalo herd in this park, which is one of the reasons I wanted to come here and see them. It's the official buffalo herd of the state of Texas is in this park. Hopefully we'll see some. It's a little breezy, not too bad. No chance of rain. No clouds in the sky. It's supposed to be a high of 87 and a low of 45. So it should just be a beautiful, beautiful trip. This is a Friday, and I'll be out of here tomorrow. but I don't expect to see too many people. I guess they grade these trails, some of them for mountain bikes, because this is like a road. See, there's a lot of mountain bikers do these trails, so I don't know how many people actually backpack what I'm going to be doing today, but I decided I wanted to put together a trail that was kind of a multi-day backpacking trip. I had to, you know, patch together all the trails because there was no single long trail. In fact, the longest trail we're going to be on today is 3 miles long. So hooking them all together is going to get me to the 12 miles, but I may be the only person backpacking these trails, and I think it's probably pretty rare that people backpack these trails. I think, like I say, I think it's more day hikers than mountain bikers. And a little steep section. Well, we're going to have to cross that creek. Doesn't look too treacherous. I believe all the water from here flows down into the Prairie Dog Fork of the Red River, and then eventually into the Red River itself. I don't know how much water is normally here. I believe they had some really big rains earlier this week, or first part of last week. And a car going up the road. We're right by the road. In fact, I think this is where I leave the lower South Prong Trail and get back on the Park Service Road and be on it for a quarter mile or so. Neat rocks around here. I don't know what that is. There's also a lot of this is gypsum. I don't think that is, but we'll be crawling through some gypsum here in a little bit. And here's where the lower South Prong, I think, turns off and continues on, but I'm going to go right up here, I hope, and intersect with the Park Service Road. And that'll take us to the Eagle Point Trail. Well, I finished the road walk. Now I'm at the Eagle Point Trailhead. Parking was down there a ways. Look at this. I think this trail's 2 miles long. We'll find out. Yep, 2 miles. We're here. And our first point of interest will be this natural bridge. And we'll look at it when we get here. That's got to be it there. I haven't seen any buffalo other than the ones that were way down here at the park entrance. There was some buffalo. So we hopefully we'll see some buffalo when we come around this way. But for now, no buffalo. But we got one road walk out of the way, and then we'll have road walk there here in a little bit. I think it's a quarter mile down here to that natural bridge. Oh, and here's some of that gypsum. That is pretty neat little formation. I think this is the natural bridge. Let's see. I believe this is the natural bridge. It's not like the ones you see in Utah, but we'll go down there and take a look at it. I think I'm going to drop my pack here. The trail actually goes over the bridge, so the bridge is actually under us, or the cut is under us. We'll go down there and poke around and see. Alright. Here's the back side of that bridge. You can see the bench and my pack up on top, but you can see light shining through. There's the other side. Oh, I think I'm going to try and work my way through there. Should be a little fun. Oh, and this is all gypsum. Yeah, you can see where the water's, man, that's sharp. It's like razor blades. See where the water runs down and rubs it away. Gypsum's pretty soft, but water comes running down this way and hits this wall and cut a hole. Wow, it's pretty. Birds flying through there. Looks like it gets easier after this first rock. Alright, well, down in here, see where that gypsum chipped off. It doesn't chip off right now. That was fun. Well, it's definitely going to be easier going back through than trying to climb up out of here. So, I guess we're going to go through it twice. Alright, well, back through. That's our first point of interest. That was pretty neat. Four people have come by, but so far I'm the only one that's bothered to go down there and look at it. Pretty view out there. I think we parked in that cut right there, up that way, Louise. That's where we'll come out of tomorrow. Still on the Eagle Point Trail. That's looking back up towards the northern end of the park, and tomorrow we're going to be up on that ridge there. We'll be camping at the base of that tonight. But what it's saying is that the sign here says everything you can see up high came from the Rocky Mountains. When the Rocky Mountains were formed, this topsoil was washed away and washed down to here where it settled on top of the limestone that was here. And so I guess it was a softer material on top of the limestone, and then over the years that soil began eroding away from here, which formed all these canyons. So it'd be interesting to think that all that red rock, red dirt and material was washed here from the Rocky Mountains 300 miles away. Point Trail. Got about a quarter-mile road walk now. And right here's that amphitheater we could see from the trail. And the closest thing to buffalo we've seen so far. And then right here's the water, so I'm going to have to fill up water here. So, pack's about to get a little heavier. Roadrunner to the right side of the road. I'm at this prairie dog town, and it's one of the points of interest on the map. So. I found an empty spot at the RV campground, and I'm going to make lunch. And since I decided to do luxury on this trip instead of lightweight, I'm going to make a fried bologna and smoked Gouda cheese sandwich. Got a new stove. I thought it might work better with the skillet because it's got 3 burner heads. Kind of spread the heat around in the skillet so it'll cover more area. So right over there's the road, and then that sign right there is the start of the next trailhead, the Canyon Rim Trail, which will be the 3-mile section of trail, be the longest single section of trail we do. And it should be a pretty trail because it runs right along the canyon rim, so as the name implies, so it ought to be a little nice piece of trail. I'm just hoping I don't have somebody's sight and they come pulling in here and I have to move, but it would be. Yeah, maybe not. Hopefully they're across. The ones that are reserved have a big R on them. This one didn't have an R on it, so I think I'm good. Ooh, that is amazing. That's pretty. Kind of like a mini Grand Canyon. Well, that's cool. This trail should follow it for a mile or two anyway. Where I'm at now is called the Prairie, and that's the other point of interest. So that's 3 of the points of interest I've seen so far. That's where these buffalo are. But unfortunately, this trail, I got them on one side of the trail and the other. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Probably 30 of them. Man. I guess I'm going to go off trail and get on the spur trail and then try to cut back to the Canyon Rim Trail, but they're sitting right on the Canyon Rim. I mean, there's some of them are laying in the trail. It's cool though. Well, these buffalo in the park were saved from extinction by Charles Goodnight of the Goodnight Loving Trail fame. He had a ranch near here, and they were killing all the buffalo to drive the Indian out. Apparently, at one point, there was only like 77 buffalo left in the United States. And a few people decided to rescue a few and keep them in there on their ranches. And Charles Goodnight's wife talked him into rescuing 2. So this herd here started with 2 buffalo. And there were really only 4 or 5 ranches that rescued any buffalo. So any buffalo you see in the United States came from one of those 5 herds they call the foundational herds. And all of them have been mixed with their domestic cattle, so there are no pure-blood buffalo anymore, except for in Yellowstone. There's a herd in Yellowstone that I guess is the only genetically pure buffalo still alive in the U.S. Well, I had to skirt around those buffalo down there. Now I made it back to the rim trail and looking down into the canyon. I'm standing right on the edge of the cliff now. It's the drop down into this canyon. That's amazing. This is where they had some of the big fights between the settlers trying to push the Indians off their land and the Indians. And the Indians would run to these canyons and drop down in them. And when the rangers or people chasing them would go down in them, then the Indians could lose them down in these canyons because they knew the way out and around. And the rangers just got lost down in there. I can see why. Well, there's either an old bench or an old sign. It's gone. I'm assuming that's the trail going down right here. Pretty steep. Yeah, I forgot to bring my hiking poles. I went off and left them. I thought they were in the truck. I'd taken them out, putting them in the garage, so I don't have my hiking poles. But no big deal. It's about 1:45, so I'm doing great on time. Trail's interesting. So we're dropping off of one plateau down to the canyon floor. There's a buffalo in the trail right up here. It's on the other side of this little rise. I'm going to try and find a way around. Oh goodness. He does not look friendly. buffaloes in the trail right up there. I'm going to try and make my way around. Hope there's not a bunch more down here. He's just chilling right in the middle of the trail. He did not look happy. There's one standing up on the hill. I don't see any down here around me. I certainly don't want to walk in and spook a bunch. Okay, I made it back up to the trail. Buffalo were up over there. So, that was fun. Check out this piece of wood. Huh. Wonder what causes that. Canyon Rim Trailhead. So that's the end of that 3-mile section. I think we got to go this way, a 1/4 mile or less. Yep. This way says County Road 29, and off of that County Road 29 is the only other trail in this park. The one trail we won't be using this trip. I forgot the name of it. It goes out a mile or so and then does a loop, and then you got to come back the same way, and it's, I think it follows that river and canyon again. Oh man, I'm sinking in the mud here. Wow. Windmill up here. Let's go look at this. I think it's a good place to take a break. Where the buffalo drink. Well, here's where we leave the Wild Horse Trail. We're going to go up the Mesa Loop trailhead. I think it's about 2 miles, and then we'll run into the Lower North Prong Trail. We were up on that ridge there, just walking east. And we dropped down right over there, and then back over there is that windmill. And we've been coming across about a 1/4 mile. And now we're here, and I think we're going to do a little bit of climbing. Get up on that plateau there. Well, here's the junction on the Mesa Loop Trail. So this is where the loop portion starts. I'm going to take the left trail, and it's about a 1/2 mile over here to the, I guess, the Lower North Prong Trail. Actually, the Mesa Spur Trail. So, making good time across here. This has been, once we got up on top of the mesa, it's been pretty flat and smooth trail, and just been kind of cruising across. So we're coming up on the Mesa Spur Trail, so we're going to leave the Mesa Trail. And I don't know if it's half mile down here to the lower North Prong or not, but got a shady spot here. I'm going to stop and take a break. The overhangs in the wind got a little rough, so I had to pull the umbrella down. So anyway, I'm going to stop here in the shade and cool off a little bit. Not exactly sure which way the trail goes. But there's people way out on that point there. I'm thinking that way is a dead end, so I think we drop off here maybe. I think I can see the trail down there we're going to be on here in just a minute. Well, the trail does go out to that point. Looks like it drops off to the left. At least that's where those people went. Okay, we made it down from the Mesa Spur Trail. It's up on top of that white rocks where we were. This would be the lower North Prong Trail. Looks like we're going to have some more climbing in our future. We're going to at least have to get on top of this next plateau. This trail follows this creek here, a river. I think this is called the Little Red River. It'll be mostly dry, but I think because of that rain it's going to have some water in it. But we're going to be down in the wash, I think, for most of the way. Little natural bridge there, arch. About a mile to the campsite. It's still on the lower North Prong Trail. It's about 5:20, so maybe a little later than I hoped, but still doing pretty good on time. I'm not sure if I'm on the official trail. My GPS shows the official trail to be to my right a ways. There's bike trails down in this creek. That's kind of what I've been following. And it looks like the creek and the official trail are gonna merge up here in maybe a quarter mile, so I think I'm still good, but and there's some footprints down here as well, so not the only one that came this way. This is some neat formations. So it's all gypsum laced through there. There's a turnoff to the campsite. Shouldn't be too much further up here. Well, here's the campsite. I don't think there's any designated areas. You just got to be within 100 yards of this toilet. Go down here, see if I can find a place out of the wind. Alright, I think I found a place. I'm going to set up tent. The toilet's just right up the hill there, and those other guys camped. It is 6:15. It says I've come 12.1 miles, so been a long day. I got a camp set up. Not a bad spot. Brought something a little bit new on this trip. Not had it before, but never showed it. But an air mattress. I've got a Helinox cot. And I think it's more comfortable than an air mattress, but it's has its drawbacks. One is it's a lot heavier. It weighs about 2 pounds, whereas my air mattress weighs about 1. And then the other drawback is that there's no insulation underneath you, so it's pretty much a warm weather. I've only ever used it in warm weather. If you took it in cold weather, you'd have to have insulation under you, so that would even add more to the weight because you'd have to bring something under you. But for summer or warm nights, it's not bad. It's more comfortable, so I really like it. But we'll see. I got dinner cooking. Tonight's going to be mango sticky rice and chicken. Looks like it's going to be a pleasant evening. Got a little bit of a breeze going, but not too bad. Kind of tough setting the tent up in the wind, but it died down a little bit, so I was able to get it done. Got at least 6 people camped just right over the hill. You can see the outhouse right there. They're all camped right around that outhouse, but boy, it's a pretty view out there. This is dinner, mango sticky rice from Backpacker's Pantry. I've had it before, and it's one of my favorites. I really like this stuff. Sun's just setting right now, so it should start getting darker. Nice set. Down there. Come up this little hill and somewhere out in here I can hear a bunch of coyotes, but no telling how far away they are. Gonna watch them movie and hopefully fall asleep. American fiction. I have eggs and sausage for breakfast this morning. Cooking in the skillet. I'm starting to break down camp. It's about 8 o'clock. Slept in a little because it was a interesting night. The wind just had huge gusts. It would just flatten the tent with me inside it. And sometimes it would come from the right, and then it would come from the left. I don't get it, but I'm down in a little bowl. I don't know how the wind's getting in here, but there's a rough night. I'm all packed up, ready to get started on the day. The wind's still coming in gusts, but not near as bad as it was last night. I head past that little outhouse and back to the trailhead. Right back on the North Prong Spur Trail. This is the Haynes Ridge Overlook Trail. So what I decided to do was I ran down there to the parking lot, dropped off my big pack, picked up a little day pack and some more water. Then I'm decided to come back here and I'm going to do this first. This starts with a pretty steep climb, but after that it follows that ridge top for a couple of miles. There's two people on that point right there taking a break. Came to the end of the flat part and it looks like we're fixing to start up. This is a rough looking trail here. Trail left. Sure enough. There's a warning for you. If you didn't bring water, turn back now. There's people up on the rim there, and I can see a sign right here, so I guess that's where we top out. Got two guys catching up to me down there. Alright, I'm gonna get to the top and then take a drink of water. There's that sign we saw down below. Probably won't come out on this camera, but I can see the amphitheater down there. That's where we walked to yesterday. I'm guessing the trail goes right, but here's an overlook up here. Over here, might as well go take a look off the edge. Well, today's Saturday, so there's more people here. There's the trail right behind me. I can see a lady on the trail there, 2 people and a dog. And then there's some people headed down. There's some trail runners, and there's 2 more people coming up. It'll be a little busier today than it was yesterday. That wind is howling up here. Back over the ridge we've been walking along. I guess that's looking down into the North Prong Canyon. I'm gonna go up and top out on this thing, and all the 4 people I've been following are sitting out on the edge. There's the Haynes Ridge Trail. We've come across 2 miles, 2.5 I think. That's the South Prong Trail, and we're getting on the South Prong Trail now. We'll be on it for, I guess, 3/10 of a mile to this little cave back here, and then we'll get on the North Prong Trail and start our return leg. Ooh, it's pretty steep down here. So we're pretty much in the northwest corner of the park. Over down there's the first look at Fern Cave. Just past 2 people that came from there, so it's nice and cool in there, so that may be a really good place to take a break. Water dripping. Wow, it's pretty nice.
Can I get a picture up there?
Oh, sure. Went up the Haynes Trail, then over to this Fern Cave. That's where we just left. Farthest corner of the park you can get, and that's the first of the points of interest. And then coming back here, about a mile it says, there's some rock formations. Supposedly looks like people dancing, so we'll see if we can find those. Back to the North Prong Spur and back to the car. It's 4 miles. So a couple more hours. So it's 12:30. It says it's 66, no, it says it's 78 degrees, which I think is more accurate. It's pretty warm. And there's no clouds, and I'll be ready to get back in the car. My feet are hurting, and it's been a long couple of days, and a beautiful trip though. This place is amazing. pretty red rocks. And all that red rock up there. And that's the Haynes Ridge we were on top of earlier. So we've got a mile left of this trail, and that'll put us back on the spur trail, take us back to the parking lot. So 2.5 miles from right here. Last Dance rock formation. And down in front almost looks like a little bear looking out. It's called the Last Dance, but almost looks like two praying hands coming together. Right back to the North Prong Spur Trail. Got 1.3 miles to go. It's about 1:30. Hopefully I can make it to the car by about 2. Trying to get some blisters on my feet, so I'm ready to get out of these boots and into some comfortable shoes. Hello.
Hello.
Alright, coming up on the parking lot and the end of the trip. It's been a great time. It's really a pretty place. Ready to get in the truck, turn the air conditioner on, drink a cold Coke, and go find lunch. We'll see y'all next time.